November 24, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E futures mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. It looked like it kind of was a big push up. I didn't find or didn't really trust this channel until later, this one in transparent, but then I found this gray one kind of throughout the day. And most of the time it was just these smaller trend channels. And overall, the volatility, unlike the last couple of days, has been a little lower, a lot lower. So I actually did trade the last few days, but I just didn't make videos because I was really busy. And today was probably one of my worst days. I took 3 losses, and I should have just stopped at the first loss, but I'll kind of go in and give you a sneak peek. My first trade was right here, which I thought was a decent setup, so I wasn't too annoyed about the loss here. And then the second 2 trades, which are also losers, this one was a bad setup, bad reasoning, and then the subsequent tilt, which I tried to reverse the trade immediately, was also ended up being a loser. So it was a pretty bad day in general, and bad trading, broke discipline, broke rules. Definitely should have just stopped. Also, the other thing that broke the rules was, if you look at the timestamp, this is very, very late in the day. So clearly I was just trying to make something happen, trying to get this loss back, trying not to have a loss for the week, because I'm not necessarily sure I'll be able to trade tomorrow or Wednesday, and definitely won't be trading Friday. So I think I was trying to make up for the loss and try to get back to break even, which is definitely a knee-jerk reaction to something that bad happens. So it just goes to show that I have a lot more mental, I guess, training and mental hammering out I need to do. But in general, there weren't very many setups I could find. That also helped, I think, motivate my reason to take more trades than I should have, especially when the first trade was a loss. So I'm going to get into the setups right now. There's no economic data that came out to really move the markets. So the pre-market was just a sell-off, kind of a sideways, push up, then down, break, push down, pushes back up. Looks like it was one leg up, pull back, and then a second leg up, break of this orange up channel, test the high. Keep in mind this transparent red up channel doesn't really exist yet, so I can't really use it as a key entry point for anything. So it hits a localized high, also the high of day in the open, after the open. I mean, I did try to see if there's any second entries. You might be able to argue there's a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry. This isn't really the best setup, so I was looking for a higher low, which you don't really get. Then it hits the localized high. You have a first entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but it feels a little dicey. So if it was going to be a second entry long, I wanted a higher low, which never came. Prices just broke. So it goes down on the screen, down channel, breaks, tests the low, has a localized low, first entry short pullback, second entry short. Now in real time, I did have this yellow down channel established now, because it looked like it was respecting this as resistance, and this is pretty good support. It looks like it was 2 legs up, and I actually thought this is a possible trade. Unfortunately, I didn't take it, because I actually wanted a lower high below the EMA. So what's happening here is a break of the green down channel, test the low, but this yellow down channel could be in play. It looks like it was 2 legs up from the bottom of this yellow down channel. One leg up, first entry short, pull back, second entry short. The second entry short, now this signal bar is only about, right here, is only about 12, 13 ticks, which is reasonable. It looks like it's pushing back into the pre-market high, which the pre-market high established the high and lows right here. So I'm thinking there's a possibility this could be in a range. Disregard this red up channel. So it looks like there could be some resistance here, and this yellow down channel needs to test the low. So there's a possible trade here, but I was more conservative. I was waiting for a lower high below the EMA confirmation. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen, so you end up missing the trade, but I was okay with that. Bounces off the bottom, starts reversing back up. It's a new low, first entry short pullback. Technically, you have a second entry short here, decent signal bar, but now that it's tested the low of this yellow down channel, I'm not 100% sure when I see this, is it going to potentially bounce off the EMA and reverse back up? So I wasn't too sure, so I left it alone. Prices then kind of consolidate, pushes back up. I established this orange up channel, actually had it a little bit tighter at one time. I treated this as a failed breakout, but as it kept going, the failed breakout doesn't look like it's valid. It looks like the channel could actually be extended. So I extended it to capture all this without an overshoot. Prices continue moving up. There's no clean wave that I could see to enter this, unfortunately. Comes down. I'm watching this really closely because I'm expecting this to act as a support. But technically, you have a new high, say first entry long, pullback, second entry long. Second entry long, it looks a little dicey, the signal bar. So I want a higher low to trust that it's going to actually bounce off of here. No higher low. This is actually inside to this guy. Again, it's just getting choppy. So now I'm not 100% sure, or I'm not very confident to take a long trade now because it looks like it's stalling, especially now that it broke below. There's no higher low to be found, so I'm not thinking of taking any trades now. Prices move down, hits low, starts reversing back up. So now you could argue that this orange up channel has broken and tested the high. Is it going to make another leg like this? I'm not sure, but it does look a little congested, a little noisy. It's just chopping sideways. This is nothing really to, I think, in my opinion, especially in hindsight now, nothing really to overly analyze because I'll be hunting for this noise, the trade in the noise, which I am trying to work out not doing that. Just kind of wait for the context to be right and hit the slam dunk trades or the easier ones to identify. Otherwise, you're just going to get chopped up in here. Prices then move down, starts reversing back up. I'm thinking this is some kind of resistance being respected because if you extend it, or actually if you drew a line here, there appears to be at least this big, bold red line. There's some kind of resistance, some kind of respect being paid by these prices. But it starts creeping up. I drew this yellow up channel, so then this resistance isn't in play anymore. No clean second entries, unfortunately. Prices continue moving up, pushes down. I'm expecting a test of this yellow up channel now, and it creates this higher low. So it looks like it's two legs down, one leg down, pull back, second leg down, pull up. So it's like a first entry long pullback, second entry long. I actually thought this was a possible trade because this is confirming, this higher low is confirming the second entry long. It's a break below the EMA, but it's a strong pushback up because previously the EMA was starting to act as support now. Bias is clearly turning bullish, so it's not in this early range that we might be in. I do establish this up channel now because it's one touch, two touch, one touch, two touch. So I need a third touch to really trust this as a key entry point. But you can already tell the overall context and bias is going bullish. So with that in mind, I was thinking when I saw this as a possible trade. Now you could say there is a break of this green down channel. Maybe it's going to test the low, but I saw it actually as one leg down, pull back, second leg. So it's been depleted. Now it looks like it's starting to reverse. So you'd have to kind of sweat through this. Then prices move up. So one of these two candles, this one here, would have given you your scalp. Prices move up. Looks like it's moving up this orange up channel again, or not again, but this orange up channel. And I look to the left, I'm noticing there's no big channel to kind of capture all the price movement, but there are pushes up, breaks, a relax, or like a pullback, then another push up, and pullback, push up, sideways. It just keeps pushing up. So I'm definitely thinking this is a long bias day. We have a new high, first entry long. It breaks this orange up channel. Technically, you have a first entry long. You don't quite have second entry long here because it never breaks above this guy. But visual looks like a first entry, second entry, but it's also pushing against the high of day, which makes me a little cautious. It stalls out, starts coming back down. EMA, I'm thinking might hold as support, but it kind of does as a break, pushes back up. It's just getting noisy. Looks like it's one leg down, pull back, second leg. I'm looking for a potential bounce, but ideally the EMA is just kind of moving sideways, but I actually had this a little tighter initially. I thought this was the range. It's the fail breakout. So I'm looking for a higher low, but at least a pushback into this range. And you don't get that immediately. You have too many candles kind of just stalling outside. So I'm giving up the idea of taking a long or looking for a long at this point. Definitely not thinking of going short just yet because, as I said, the bias looks like it's pretty much going bullish. Starts pushing and it finally makes it back into this range. Breaks, there's a potential fail breakout here. Since this had such a long dwell time, that's actually when I extended this down, try to encapsulate all this price action. So maybe there wasn't a fail breakout. There's definitely a fail breakout here. You have a new low. It's a first entry short pullback. You technically have a second entry short, but it's not a good signal bar. You have a first entry long here. Then it pushes down. You might have a second entry long coming up, but I'd be reluctant because I wanted to bounce off the EMA. Not the EMA, excuse me. I wanted to bounce off the low of this range. It kind of does it, but it finishes as a terrible looking candle. So again, I'm just sitting on my hands. Breaks below. And instead of moving back into this blue trading range, it looks like it's falling. Comes down, bounces off of here, and it starts moving up. At this point, that's when I established this gray channel. I had one touch, two touch, three touch. The high side isn't quite reliable, but the low side is the more important one. Because if you have a bullish channel on a bullish day, then you put more weight on the support side than on the resistance side. Because here you're looking to go short, but on a bullish day, that's counter trend trading. So this is the actual leg or the actual side of the channel that matters more. So I was pretty happy that this confirms. So next time prices come back down to here, depending on what's happening up here, I would be looking for a setup. So prices move up, kind of respects this resistance again. Break of this pink up channel, test the high. Technically, if a first entry short, pull back. You have a second entry short here, but it's very, very, it just feels not very safe. So you do have a confirmed second entry short, but it closes terrible. Now it's a first entry short, second entry short. Second entry short technically hasn't failed yet, but if I get a lower high, I'm reluctant to go short. But if I got a higher low, another candle that's here kind of confirming the failed second entry short, I'm also a little reluctant to take a trade because this resistance might be coming into play. Pushes up, it respects this high side pretty well, but it finally breaks out. So now it looks like it's a spike and a potential channel, spike in this shallow yellow channel. As soon as it gets up to this, candles print up to here, that's when I established this high side. I did the low side. So it's one touch, two touch, three touches on the high side, which is good. But you don't get a setup. It's a first entry long, and that's all you get. And up here, you really only get first entry longs. So finally, I get a setup that I think is a possible trade. This is the first trade that I take. I actually thought it was a decent setup. So overall bias right now is bullish. I'm thinking we're floating inside potentially this gray up channel, and in a larger context, this transparent red up channel. So what we have here is prices staying above the EMA. You have localized high, you have first entry long pullback. You have a second entry long here. Now it hasn't confirmed yet, but I'm thinking this is bouncing off the low side of this yellow up channel, which is great because it has good confirmations. It's also bouncing off the EMA. So this candle opens actually down here, excuse me, opens here, pushes. I drop my order right here because I'm expecting a move back into the yellow up channel. It fills me, as you can see, right at the highs. So I'm going for actually the 2-point scalp from here to here means I would have to push to a new high of day. So I was actually conservative going for a 1-point scalp. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. I just need to get from here and push all the way up to the high side 1 point before I had to run into any issues of the high side or high of day. Pushes, pushes down and stops me out because I had my stop below this double bottom. So that created a loss. And that was kind of frustrating because I thought this was a decent trade. First entry long pullback, second entry long. The only thing I could have done, I think, is wait for a higher low confirmation because I was already being conservative going for just a 1-point scalp. And as you can see previously, pushing for the high of day wasn't that big a deal because I could see all the price action previously, this blue dotted line, was making and pressing the envelope of the new high of day. So I thought it was a decent trade. I think if this set up again, I would likely take it again. Not, for sure you don't know that it was going to fail, but I thought it was a decent setup to try to take. It just didn't work out. So prices move down and sideways. So it's a new low, first entry short, second entry short, just moving sideways. I think there's some kind of resistance here. EMA is not helping at all. It's just going flat. Prices themselves are slowing down. It starts pushing up. So I'm thinking we're moving up this red up channel. So again, I'm still thinking bullish because everything looks like it's going bullish. That's why I took this trade. I thought it was going to be a bullish second entry long. So it breaks out of this red down channel, breaks out of this red up channel, moves down on this orange down channel. I saw it as a visual first entry long, pullback, second entry long, and coincidentally, it's touching this gray channel the fourth time now. So I'm thinking there's going to be a bounce, but I am aware that this orange down channel, if it breaks, would need to test its low. So I would need to see a higher low. But I'm thinking first entry long, second entry long. I'm looking for a reason to go long, but it doesn't. It flushes down. Now, any higher low that shows up, I'd be very hesitant. Starts pressing. So it's like first entry short. Again, it's just getting choppy, noisy, and starts pressing down. Now it's breaking through the larger transparent red channel because it did have bounce here. So you could say it's maybe one touch, two touch, three touch confirmation. It's broken out of this gray up channel. So now I'm just watching and waiting. I'm ideally looking for a break above the EMA. Trust anything. The first entry short, technically have a second entry short here. That second entry short failure starts pushing up. So clearly it's above the EMA now. It's moving up this potentially green up channel, pushes down on this orange down channel. I'm expecting a test of the high here because it's going with the context of the overall bullish day. Starts pushing up. It's creating some big candles. And as you can see, the time of day is already late now. I shouldn't be trading anymore, but I found myself looking for a trade, looking for a reason to try to erase this loss because I thought I was justifiable or not. I thought I was robbed because I thought this is a good trade. It should have worked out, but that's not the right mindset. So it did affect me because, as I said, this is Thanksgiving week. I'm not 100% sure I'll be able to trade tomorrow, the day after. So I was trying to it could be very likely this might be my one and only day that I was able to trade. So I was trying to definitely erase that loss. And this actually sets up the second trade. So it's pushing up. The green up channel has to test the high. It's a first entry long, well, visual attempt at the high. This might have been good enough. I saw this as a new low, first entry short, second entry short, pushes up. I wasn't thinking properly because it's confirming the second entry short, this lower high. It didn't break below the EMA. My expectation was it's probably because I was thinking, although the green up channel has to test the high, there's a resistance here. So I might be bouncing within this potential range I was thinking I was playing at the time. Later, I extended up to here. So my thinking at the time was first entry short, second entry short, push back, pull down, engulfing lower high. Now, I saw this and I immediately thought, okay, I want to take this trade, disregarding the time of day, disregarding I was probably tired, definitely trying to erase the loss. I took the trade. So I entered here, one tick below this guy, expecting a push down. Now I was going for a 2-point scalp. If I'd gone for a 1-point scalp, you can see my entry 67.22. I probably would have gotten 67.21. The other thing that was going against me was I entered the trade late. So it already made the 1-point scalp. Push back up, I dropped my order in. So the price is already made the 1-point scalp initially planned, pushes back up, takes the fill. When I saw this, I just in my mind broke one of my rules, which was thinking, well, my profit target obviously is going to be 2 points. I'm going to bring it back down to here. So it pushes back up, closes, and now it's kind of created this doji open and close the same line. Pushes up and stops me out right here. It's hard to see, but it stops me out right here, one tick above this. So this definitely creates a spiral. So I'm thinking first entry short, second entry short, lower high. If I had gone for the 1-point scalp, I would have gotten it. If I had gone for the 1-point scalp and dropped my order in earlier, had conviction, I would have gotten it. Entered late, lost the trade. As you can see, there's another blue tick. So this is where this is called an X trade, a trade that shouldn't have happened. So for no reason whatsoever, I just started to reverse my mindset. I said, okay, I failed on the short. Obviously, prices are going to push back up and test the high. Again, disregarding the time of day, disregarding that the setup is just junk. There's nothing here. There's no reason to take this. This is a knee jerk. If I lost one way, obviously its prices are going the other way. So I entered long right up here. So you can see this is the close, this is the stop. It pushes up. I enter right here for pretty much no good reason. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Move it back to here. As you can see, entered right here. This time I was conservative, thinking, okay, I'm just going to be a good sport about it. Go for a 1-point scalp. Don't be greedy. Doesn't even make it. Pushes down, stops me out at the EMA right here. Now, technically, I was thinking I should keep it at the low, but if I kept it at the EMA, this is already going to be a 4-point loss because it's around 67 27.25. I got stopped out at 67.23.25. In real time, I was thinking, give it more room because I had it here, just willing to do a 4 point loss, which is, again, not really to the rules as well, to just keep it at an obvious swing low in a good setup. But this wasn't even a good setup, so subconsciously I already knew this is a poor setup. So I left it at a 4 point stop right at the EMA, and it's also broke. Well, it didn't break, but it goes against just logical thinking because I already discounted the EMA in this region as being anything valid because prices are both coming above and below, disregarding the EMA. So there's no reason to trust the EMA as being anything important. But in this case, I kind of lucked out in that I didn't take a bigger loss because if I had to stop from here down to here, this candle would have definitely stopped me out and I would have lost about 2 to 3 more points. So it would have been a 7 point loss and that would have really bummed me out. Not that I not that I'm not already bummed out right now. So then prices come down, bounces off of here. It just gets noisy and goes in the last 10 minutes and then pushes into the close. So definitely an ugly day. 3 losses. The first loss should have just stopped there. First loss is, I mean, it's a trade that I thought was reasonable. I had good reason behind it. Second trade, not so good. Third trade, definitely a poor planning. This, as you can see, even the timestamp there happened like I think about 3 minutes after each other, or the entries happened 3 minutes. The stop loss and then the entry happened actually rather quickly. But it just kind of goes to show, yeah, I should have just stopped after the first loss and walked away. But I broke too many rules today. Definitely, yeah, it might be a good idea maybe just to take the rest of the week off and just because I imagine tomorrow, definitely Wednesday, and definitely Friday. Well, Friday I won't be trading anyways, but if I decide to trade, it's only a half day of trading and it'd be very, very slow, volatility be low. Tomorrow, I imagine, might just be things tapering off. It's just better to not lose any more money, in my opinion, but we'll see how it goes. So hopefully that was helpful.